The one above is direct labor. For each individual direct labor dollar, it's $1.50. And the bottom one, it's 150% of, well, I guess every individual direct labor dollar or direct labor dollars in total. Okay? So it can be, I happen to like the top one a little better just because it's more consistent with how I've been kind of explaining it to you in the past. So I like the top one a little better, but for some people they might prefer the bottom one, and therefore I give it to you. Awesome. I am, again, another boring day in the class of in Dr. Fessler's class. David, how are you? What's number 2? Catherine, do you want me to ask you instead? I mean, you're not feeling happy that I'm going to call on him and not you, are you? She kind of had that kind of an expression on her face. Like, ooh, 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 it's your turn. Neener, neener, neener. Number 2, the only job unfinished, and yes, I guess I just said that on film, didn't I? The only job unfinished on January 31st, 1992, and this is going out to David. Another yawn. And so I've been up since 4.
Well, I didn't go to bed until 2.
Oh, well, then I got more sleep. The only job unfinished on January 31st, 1992 was number 419, on which total production costs were $13,000. And there it gives us the subcomponents. Basically, what they're telling us in the parentheses is how that $13,000 was calculated. Direct labor cost of $2,000, direct material cost of $8,000, and manufacturing overhead costs of $3,000. Those all add up to $13,000. And it's only that $13,000 that you need to place in the T accounts for us, if you would be so kind, sir. We have a job unfinished. What do you think that goes? And Catherine isn't being very helpful, is she? Yes, we're at top, middle, bottom. Top, middle, bottom. Is this conceptually, what's the date on this? Only job unfinished when? January 31st. Is that the beginning or the end of the month? Yes, yes. End of the month. $13,000. Awesome. See how easy that was? Catherine, is that what you told him, or did you tell him something different? Did you? Awesome. Carrie, what's you? But it's always easier answering somebody else's questions than it is your own. Always. Total materials placed into production during January were $90,000. Carrie, where do you think that goes? And she looks really excited to have the opportunity to participate in class at this very moment as well. Yes, it would be. It's the out. Placed into production. Where'd it go? It left direct materials and went into work in process. How much is it, Carrie? Carrie, what's the number I need to write on the board? $90,000. $90,000. Thank you very much. Thank you oh so very much. Good. Taylor, what's next? Number 4, cost of goods manufactured during January was $180,000. Where does that go?
Well, it could go 2 places.
Well.
Can we go in work in process on the credit side?
Yes.
And also finished goods on the debit side.
And how much?
For
$180,000. You know, a well is a pretty deep subject. You know, and she had a pretty deep answer. Don't you think? A couple of people got that. What, Christy?
just got that. See, well, was funny.
Anyway, ba-doom-tsh. Nick, how are you, sir? What's next here? Materials inventory as of January 31st was $20,000. Where's that go? The end of direct materials of how much? $20,000. Outstanding. Nathan, how are you? Good. Awesome. What's the next one? Finished goods. Oh, this is another really easy one. I bet Nathan doesn't really want one this easy. Finished goods inventory as of January 31st was $15,000.
It would be $15,000 on the other side of finished goods and cost.
Awesome. Tony, how are you? Outstanding. All factory workers earn the same rate of pay. Direct labor hours for January totaled 2,500 or 2,500. Direct labor hours in this case. What are we going to do with that information? You would multiply times something, but maybe not 1.5. But what account do you think this is helping us fill in? Yes. Debit or credit side? One of the two. Debit. So we need something. We need 1 point. Ooh. We don't need 1.5. Sorry. We need the number that Tony gave us, which was, we need 2,500 times something, don't we? Times what? 16. Excuse me. Where's 16 come from?
From number 2, the cost of, or direct labor cost is 2,000.
Yes. Yes. This information is kind of hidden a little higher up in the problem, kind of stuff that we'd already covered. And so look up there, number 2, it says, how much was paid to direct laborers? $2,000. And how many hours did they work? 125. What's the rate per hour? 16. You all might want to make a note to yourself. Make sure you know where the 16 came from, because we're going to multiply that 2,500 times $16, and that's going to equal what? Christy, have you got that calculated? Josh, do you have it?
Got it.
What?
40,000.
40,000 what?
American dollars.
Awesome. Because there are different, it's not inappropriate to say American dollars, because it could be Canadian or Taiwanese. And so if you're in Europe, they'll actually denote US dollars as opposed to other forms of dollars like that. So that's kind of how the banks will note, you know, when they're talking about exchange rates, they'll call them US dollars. Josh, do you concur?
I concur, sir.
Awesome. So you also got 40,000.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Oh. Tyler. Number 8, sales during January of $285,000 were made. Is it? Debit or credit side? Are you sure? Mr. Waller, why are you shaking your head like this?
Because I don't concur.
Where do you think it should go?
Well, I filled in, I said